which is a new feature that's going to be launched, and that is this assistant manager. I actually don't quite understand a lot about it. I defer to my fantasy football guru here. Tafan, can you please tell me what this is all about? They're just
Oh,
adding more ways for me to lose.
so I'm the guru, is it suddenly? Okay, I kind of read
You're
out a
Yeah.
the
little
guy
bit.
who definitely read the rules. Definitely reads the rules, everything. So we come to you.
Okay. So one or two things lah. Okay, so this is the new chip that everyone was waiting for it, and everyone was like making guesses as what it is. So it's an assistant manager app. So I got to hand it to them. They came up with something really that I didn't even expect. You know what I mean? So okay, so
Mm.
you have this assistant manager. Now this assistant manager chip. All right. Do I go through it one by one? Okay, let's go one by one.
You are
Okay.
you are
So
this
okay. This is
very
something
well
that is,
made
that is
slides, eh?
easier.
Okay.
No,
You
no.
can tell you
Um,
spend
I think
hours
it's before.
preparing this.
Do you have the other one? The one before this?
Yes, this one.
Okay. So firstly, you get to choose a manager of your choice. So this is interesting. So you can choose a manager of your choice. So you can choose Pep, Arne Slot, Sean Dyche, or anything like that. Okay.
Sean.
The hell,
No,
huh?
sorry, sir.
You see the arrogance of the menu fans, Okay, all right, okay, like as though they are flying high, They're actually 3 points away from Everton, Okay, so anyway, all right, so it's available from game week 24 onwards. So for our viewers who have not seen this yet or are not sure what this is, so you can start using this chip from game week 24 onwards. Now, one thing very interesting about very unlike other chips, this chip is going to be on for 3 consecutive weeks. Okay, 3 consecutive weeks. It cannot be turned on and it cannot be turned off. So if just say for example you decide to use it on game week 24, that means this chip will be in activation game week 24, game week 25, and game week 26. Now, in
Mm,
these 3 game weeks, you are not allowed to use any other chips. Okay, so for example, at game week 25, suddenly you realize that only 3 games are being played and you want to play your free hit, you are not able to do so because this chip is active. So, as with any other chip that you use, it cannot go one on top of another. So, you got to be
mm,
very, very careful where you use this chip. So, if you use this chip on a double game week, you might gain some, but you might, lose your triple captain or something like that. So you cannot double up. So you got to really plan um, when you use this chip. All right. So
mm,
the next slide will show you what does this chip mean. Okay. So how do you gain points using this chip? Now points are earned when your team that you choose. Just say you choose a slot for Liverpool, right? Okay, and they win 4-0. All right,
mm,
against Man United, for example. So they get points for every goal scored, and they get points for clean sheet, and they get points for getting the win. Okay. In the it's actually quite a substantial amount of points, I think.
mm.
For a win and then for a goal, you can score anywhere between extra 10 to extra 30 points.
Ooh,
If you choose the
winning
uh,
manager.
yeah, if you choose the winning manager,
Mm,
the manager also takes up one of your team slot. As we know, we have three maximum of three, right? So I mean, if you have three Liverpool players, you cannot have Ane slot
all
as your
right.
fourth. Okay, so
Okay.
if you have three
Mm,
menu players, you cannot have Amorim as your manager. Okay.
mm.
And if you have three Everton players, you cannot have Sean Dyche. Okay. So I know a lot of you do not have any Everton players at all. So Sean Dyche is a very ideal, okay, manager that you could.
Differential.
Yeah, it's differential. Okay. So take note that whoever that you want to bring in,
Yeah.
okay, it takes up one of your maximum three. Now the next point is that it will also take up one of your free transfer slot. Now, when does this happen? If you change. Now, some of you may have a question. I think Pio had a question. If I already took Ane slot for game week 24, then 25, I want to change the manager. Am I able to do so? Yes, you can. So you can change from Slot to Amarim to Daesh, for example. But it takes up one transfer each time you change. Okay,
Mm.
so that also will happen. Also, these
Meaning if
managers
you
are not
change,
free. Mm.
if you change your manager, means you cannot change the player, provided that you have used up your transfer slot. Then,
No, you can, but it will be a minus
yeah.
four. So just if you have
All
one
right.
one free transfer, so the rules still apply. Okay,
Okay.
the rules still apply. So it's not that you
Mm.
cannot, you can, but it'll be a minus four, minus eight.
Mm.
So it goes. That means the main rules don't change. Okay.
Mm.
In the entire gameplay, and the manager is not free, so it's anywhere between 0.5 million to 1.5 million, and they are not giving you extra money.
Mm.
So you have
Mm.
to make provision for the manager you want to bring in. So in your team, you must, if those of you who have like a balance of 0 or 0.1, 0.2, for example, um you need
You
to
can't afford
sell
one.
player. Yes, you need to
Mm.
sell player to make sure that you're bringing in the manager to comes in. Of course, the more expensive, the 1.5 managers will be those you know uh managers at the top lah. Basically, I would expect Pep
Mm.
to still be 1.5, although they have not come up with it yet.
Mm.
So those are the main rules. Now this is the main highlight, because you were laughing at
Mm-hmm.
Daesh. This is the main highlight. I'm going to spend 2 minutes on this. Table bonus for opting for teams playing versus 5 levels higher. This is very, very
Ooh.
important. So this is risk versus reward. So everyone is going to go for the top 4 team or the top 5 team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, for example, a smart manager may look at Man United, seeing that they are currently 17th, are they? No,
Hey,
they're not
No lah.
17th.
excuse me.
They're pure. Okay, they're currently about
13,
what?
right? You anyhow, right?
Okay,
17.
so
12,
you
12 or 13.
okay, so you might look at an underperforming team, you know, and take that manager. I mean, if you ask me as a a strategy would probably be taking like an underperforming team, maybe Amorim. And then if they are playing against Tottenham that week, and Tottenham happens to be fourth, and
Mm.
United is 10th,
Mm.
and they beat Tottenham, they will get extra 10 points
Mm.
plus winning. So if you win, you get 6 points. If you beat a team 5 places above you, you will get extra 10 points. So just for the win, you will
Mm.
get 16 points. So this is something very, very important to take note of.
And this hasn't
So
counted the
it must
goals
be.
and the clean sheet, all right?
Yes, he has not
It's just the
counted the
wins and
goals or the clean. So
the
if you
bonus.
manage to beat Tottenham 3-0, for example,
Mm.
can you imagine
Yeah.
the points that you will get? So
Mm.
the clean sheet also has bonus. So the clean sheet gives you extra 6 points. So six
Yeah.
points plus a normal clean sheet point of 3 or
Mm.
something like that. So you get 9, and then you plus extra 10 points plus 6. The it can be a game changer. So
Yeah.
this is the most complicated chip, but if you use this wisely, um it can be a real game changer. So if you ask me where to use this chip, who to use this chip, go for the underperforming big team, um and hope they come out with a big result during that week.
So
Yeah.
I just came across this one stat. Thank you, Tafran. I just wanted to say to illustrate your point. Based on what's happened so far, Arteta, if let's say a manager chose Arteta, Arteta's best 3 weeks so far would have earned
Mm,
32 points, for instance.
right.
Slot would get
Mm.
31 points.
Yeah.
But remember this couple of weeks where Bournemouth beat Arsenal and Man City
Yeah.
back to back? So that was Andoni Irola, right? That's his
Yeah.
the manager's name. If you had chosen him, his points they would have given during this spell would have been 47 points as compared to
Ooh.
Arteta's 32 and 31. Yeah,
Mm.
so this is what you were trying to say lah. So
So this can
Right.
really overturn the result lah. In like in a week where your teams may not have performed that well because your manager wouldn't really be in because of the maximum three. Then your manager
mm.
wouldn't be one of the players that the team of the manager that is
Yeah.
playing. So therefore, you if your team is not performing well, the manager can really change it, provided you choose
Exactly.
the
So
right
I
Especially
got
if
a
you're
one.
question.
chasing. especially if you're chasing the league. So if you're chasing the league, you got nothing to lose, right? So this is
Yeah.
where you throw this in. So if you're topping the league, however, you might go for the safer option.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I got a question. Let's say you chose a
Mm.
manager and the manager gets a red card during one of the games. Does it affect this or not?
Okay, this is a good question. Now, from what I can understand, maybe they have not thought about it yet, but from what I can understand is that rules still apply. So it seems like everything else rules still apply, right? If yeah, so I would assume that if he gets a yellow card,
Hmm.
that would mean he will
-1
get
lah.
the minus point lah. I would assume. I would
If it's a red
assume.
card, he
Yeah.
won't be there for the next match, so no points.
I'm not sure whether he needs to be physically there or whether
Yeah.
it's tagged to his team. Yeah.
So another question is, if let's say for some reason,
But if he gets a red card, you
But
can switch managers, you see? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but
but cannot
remember,
lah.
Yeah.
Red card, the manager can still be around. Which brings me to my next question: if the
okay,
manager gets a sack during this 3 game week,
halfway within your 3 game week.
can
Yeah.
he
But you
get
can use
can our managers get free transfer for another
no
manager?
free transfer. I think
Oh
you need to use
no.
your transfer to change him. You need to use your
Mm,
transfer to change him. So even if he gets a red
okay.
card or if it's not going to be there, you have to use your
Mm,
transfer to change him. That means you will need to waste your transfer.
waste transfer lah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, Pio.
Sounds good.
Well done.
Just helping our fellow fantasy managers.
Right,
Mm.
right, right.